What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of F This Review, and tonight I'm reviewing the new Drake album, For All the Dogs. Man, there's so much going on around this album. I didn't even want to do this, to be truthfully honest with you. I feel like I'm gonna just add. I just been seeing so many reviews and reactions to this album and talks to this album. I guess that's what's, before I get into it, I think that's the best thing about, I believe that's the best thing about art, right? Especially music. Everybody has a thought on whether this is bad, whether this is good, whether this is whatever, you know what I mean? It's polarizing. This is Drake's 8th album. That's kind of crazy. Drake's almost at 10 albums. I learned a long time ago, whatever you expect the Drake album is gonna be, is usually the opposite of that. I always go into a Drake album with not low expectations, because that's harsh. I go into it just open-minded. And at this point, to be truthfully honest with you, we're going to get into the album and some of the songs, but at this point, it seems like I'm one of the few people who know what a Drake album is going to sound like. Every album is the people who's like, I want an all-rap album of Drake. Then you get the people, I want an all... singing. I want an all singing album Drake. Then you get the people like, I want Drake to mature. Then you want the people that's then you got the people that say, I want Drake to stay at this level to relate to the kids. It's these things that's always centered around a Drake release. So I just come to accept that at this point in Drake's career, he's gonna be Drake. Let's talk about this album though. I don't want to be here all night. Even though I live here. My overall thoughts of this album is that I like it better than his last. I like it better than his last 3 efforts. I believe this album reminds me of More Life. And I don't hear a lot of people saying that, but it sounds very look at the features on here. You got TEEZO Touchdown, you got SZA Twice, you got Sexy Red, you got Yachty, Yeet, Bad Bunny, Chief Keef, Party Next Door, J. Cole. It's Drake's albums used to be his vision and just him. Now it seems like even the songs with the feature artists sound like the feature artists, and they kind of, I hate to even say this, but they kind of overpower Drake. Although I like this album, I think it's the first album where it feels like the songs with the features are better off without Drake. He starts it with Virginia Beach, which everybody thought it was going to be a Pusha T diss. He's very smart and meticulous because he knew we were going to think that. To the contrary, we got the total opposite. A good record, probably one of my least favorite intros from him, but not a bad song. And one standout on here that I have to give credit to is TEEZO Touchdown. If you haven't looked at my reaction to TEEZO Touchdown, How Do You Sleep album, I'll put it up here. Probably my top 3 albums of the year. I just understand the artistry of TEEZO Touchdown. So when I saw he was on here, and I kind of knew that because Drake put out something about TEEZO Touchdown. They were in the studio together, and Drake really don't do that. Those certain artists in caliber, when they mention the artist, they've already worked with him. So I kind of knew this was going to happen. I believe what he did on this song was really good. Just the amen aspect of it. I thought Drake was cool on here as well. But I love the TEEZO Touchdown aspect of this song. Even the second one he was on, I think it's 7969 Santa, where he does the dogs will be dogs. One thing I thought was really also interesting and great about this album is the interludes. I thought that having Snoop on here and George Clinton and Sade, I don't know, I was getting it with George Clinton and Snoop because of the dog aspect of the album, but when Sade came in, I was like, okay. Still dope because I remember Drake wanting Sade on Take Care. So it was cool to, even for the 10 seconds she was on the album, I thought that was dope, but I thought the interludes of the radio show was a good concept that got lost in all these songs. Another thing that stood out to me but bothered me about the album is the constant beat switching. I feel like after Sicko Mode, Drake has been doing this constant thing where he just switches the beat to change the energy of it. And I'm usually a fan of that, but I think some of the songs lose focus when you do that. Like the J. Cole, when he switched the beat, I would love to hear Drake like just go bar for bar in the same beat as Cole, but he switched it and it changes the whole song. So you don't even think, and the beat that comes on, I think it's a Tay Keith beat, but it doesn't even make you want to rap as great as Cole did. And like even with that, like hats off to Cole, because he's like one of those artists. I love the new Cole, like the artist. I'll say this, I love the artist that J. Cole turned into. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Cole, I believe he's the only one that's keeping that pen sharp at that level. The rest of these niggas is just, you know, you might catch a hot line here and there, but they're not bringing that energy like early 2000s rappers or 90s rappers. J. Cole is holding that flag high. Kendrick, he don't even feature on any songs. Kendrick's in a whole nother realm. Like Kendrick don't even care about this stuff, right? I don't really like the 21 Savage aspect of it. I feel like 21 is tired of rapping with Drake. And that's just me talking. But I don't feel like this is one of my least favorites between them. Fear of Heights is dope. Daylight is dope, and First Person Shooter, I think that 3-song run is the best we got on the whole album. I Don't Give a Fuck with Yeet. I don't like that song. I feel like it's just Drake jumping into the Yeet bag. Like I just don't like it. Like that's a song I'm skipping every time. And I know like some people say like give it some time, but I'm one of those people like usually if the song doesn't hit me the first couple listens, I'll just keep skipping it. Like it's obvious I'm not gonna try that hard to manipulate myself to like a song. 7969 Santa's dope. Although I'm still not a big fan of Slime You Out, it sounds better, especially coming after that song with the TEEZO touchdown interlude and with the Snoop radio host. I think it comes in perfectly. One thing I will say about Slime You Out, it's a line. Drake has so many lines on here that was just like lack of better words, cringeworthy. So like it reminded me of when he was mad when he was calling out Kanye when Yeezus came out for some of the lines like swag like Swahili, whatever the fuck he said on Yeezus. But he's dropping like so many bad lines in here. Like one of the songs when he was just like something like that put you on skates, and then he just kept rhyming with that, but it was the most simplest metaphors of all time, and I know it's purposely done, but some of them were still bad. But on Slime You Out, he says a line like whip like American slave, and I was just like, oh, that line sucks. And he's singing it, I was just like, this line sucks, man. Like every time I hear that American slave line and Slime You Out, it just throws me off. Like I was like, I don't want to listen to this no more. Bahama Promises is my favorite. I feel like I love that pocket of Drake. Simple, no beat switches, nice pocket of flow. Subject matter was good. That's the Drake I like. My favorite song on the album. Tried Our Best, yeah. Screwed the World interlude, nah. Drew a Picasso, I like the second half of that. Members Only with Party Next Door, I'm really not a fan of that song either. And I like Party Next Door and Drake's collaborations for the most part. What Would Pluto Do? I like the second half of that song as well. Like the thing with it, I like certain pieces. Like I'm finding myself liking certain pieces of songs and not full songs themselves. So I feel that way about a lot of the songs on here. That's including What Would Pluto Do? All the Parties with Chief Keef, that's a skit. 8 a.m. and Charlotte, cool, but there's some cringy lines in there as well. And I'm pretty sure you heard them and you've been trying to justify it, whatever. You know what I hate? I hate when people be like the check line in here. And he says, when people are like, you just don't get it. And it's like, how dumb do you think I am? Like, the line was an alley-oop. It wasn't like that meticulous. Like it was there. But 8 a.m. in Charlotte, I was speaking to one of my friends and I told him, because we were preparing for the album, he was like, damn, I think we're gonna get a bunch of these on there. I was like, don't hold your breath. If you think you about to get an album full of timestamps in a city from Drake, you out your mind. BBL interlude, first couple listens I liked it. The more and more I listened to it, it became more corny. Like I get the aspect of like love's like a BBL, like you don't know if it's real till you touch it. I get it, but after a while that becomes like, until you feel it, it became kind of corny. Rich Baby Daddy, I love it. I love that. Like when I hear that Florida bounce, I'm with it every time. And I think I like the SZA feature on that one more than Slime You Out. And Sexy Red, I love the hook on there. It's been literally playing in my head. I'll be trying to work and shit, and throughout the day it's just like Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe, shake that ass. I'm trying to have a real thought-provoking conversation with people, and I'm like, and all is playing in my head. Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. Another late night with Yachty, trash. You can keep that. I don't even know why they did a video to that. Like, why push the songs that's, I don't know, man. Away From Home, I love that one. I don't hear enough people talking about that one. That's probably the most vulnerable Drake sounded on this whole album, where he recollects all the shit he's been through coming up. And I think that's, people are not talking about that song enough. To end it with Polar Opposites, trash. He ended it just like he started with these singing songs, and I just don't think it did justice. My 3 favorite: Away From Home, Bahama Promises, First Person Shooter. Although I criticize Drake for not really showing up to go toe-to-toe with J. Cole, when he gets into the Darlene, Charlene, Pauline, that was crazy. Those are some crazy bars. I like that part. My overall thoughts on this Drake album: I feel like with this album, Drake, and the more and more Drake's going on, couple things. I feel like Drake, this is the first album where I feel like Drake has reached the, oh shit, they might not love me no more. Like, and that's a tough pill to swallow as an artist, especially when you're someone on his caliber who's like been on a decade run and no hiccups, no blemishes, besides from the ghostwriting thing and the Pusha T thing, but like to the masses, no blemishes, right? Because the music has always been stellar. I feel like on this album, this is the first one where people are like, okay, all right, I think you need to go back to the drawing board, because we had so many mediocre albums from him. So like if you start at Scorpion, to me, Scorpion, CLB, Honestly Nevermind, Her Loss, I believe that's 4 albums in a row that's just pure mediocrity. And even the strongest Drake fan and stan is finally like, this is the same food, you know what I mean? Similar to the girl on the album who was like, what, you want me to eat jerk chicken every night? Like, Drake, you want me to eat jerk chicken every album? Like, give me some fucking variety here. I believe another reason why this album is getting so panned is because he's losing the part of his fan base that uplift him. So like, women are not reacting to this the same because they're starting to see like misogynistic traits. Women like maturity. Like, women keep maturity in hip hop like prevalent. If there were no women listening to hip hop, it would just be bogarted with ignorance. Like, and it's already ignorant, some people may say, but like, if women didn't interject and had like bought music as much as they did and invested in music as much as they did, it'd just be pure chaos. When the fucking artist that women paved as the guy, you know what I mean, for so many years, like, women uplifted Drake to those statues, not like men and shit. Like, it was women. And once that audience started turning on you because they see the Meg shit, they see you still talking about women from fucking blah blah blah, or this young, you talking about a 23-year-old or 25-year-old, or like, women like maturity in men. like eventually, like, you could get by with all the fly shit, you look good, blah blah blah, but eventually like your fan base grows and women gonna want some maturity. Security and maturity. 3, I believe him and Nicki Minaj are at the same thing. I believe they both reached the level in their career where you both are not the hottest anymore, right? And they start this lash out kind of thing. Like, this is the most I ever seen Drake react to reactions in reviews of his album. Like, it's really like hitting his core. Like, he's making like novels. It's so sassy. Like, it's so like, I don't even understand how people like congratulate that. Like, just as a pure like human being, once I write a long text or some shit like that, like, if I write a long text and shit like, of that nature, like, you gotta proofread it, right? And in that proofreading, it's usually something that clicks in your mind that be like, this is too much, and then you delete. Like, it's good to get it out, but you gotta delete. And when you let it go, the people are seeing those chinks in that armor. Like, they're seeing it. Like, some people might congratulate it, but like, you are like 38. Also heard people say like, Drake has so many types of audience, his fan base is so broad that he has so many areas to hit, and you know, that gotta be frustrating. Shut up. Like, that's the most lame shit I ever heard in my life. Like, no one's ever said that to Stevie Wonder. No one's ever said that to Kanye. Nobody's ever said that to like the greats. Like, Michael Jackson got so many people in his fan base that it gotta just kill him. Like, nobody Stop making these excuses. My thing is, rap about what you want to rap about, whether it's murdering, selling drugs, fucking bitches, dissing women, loving them, like the world, politics. Rap about whatever you want to rap about, but the music has to be good. Nobody cares what you rap about or what the music about or how old you are, as long as the fucking music is good. And I don't think people really understand that. Like, as long as the music's good, that's all people care about. When the music starts to suffer, that's when we're going to start pulling at these, maybe you should rap about this. Are you going to grow up eventually? Like, that's when you start pulling shit. Why are you wearing braids? Or why are you wearing bow rats? Like, it's like these like these things that we have to focus on to try to justify why this music is bad or why it's not appealing to the masses the way they used to. Another thing that hinders this album for me is the lack of Drake's great hooks. Drake great hooks is like, it's also like his women fan base. Like, they're synonymous. Like, Drake used to be the artist that he couldn't miss. Like, he had the ear for hooks. And I'm not sure if that's like, he's been in it for more than 10 years, so I get it. Like, you can't always make the hit. You can't always be the guy, but you hear it. Like, ain't really no hook on here that's like a Drake hook on here that's like the one. You know what I mean? If anything, Sexy Red hook is the one. Like, so this is the first album I heard where I was like, oh shit, there's no Drake hook on here that's really standoutish. But I do like it. But I do like this album better than his last 4. Like, out of the 23, I'm pulling away 9 tracks that I like, which is still bad, but I really didn't like his last 4. Like, and we got to stop comparing this to his earlier work, because we're never going to get that. He's not hungry no more. He's not, like, he has nothing to prove. He's like self-imploding. Like, we just got to say bye to that era, and that's fine too. I also hope that he does take a break. Like, I really do. Like, I hope he does take a break from it, and just to regroup. And I don't know, lashing out as a grown man is always bad. Like, it never comes out the way you think it's coming out, but that's just me. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what's your favorites off this album. Give me your top 3. Let me know, do you think Drake needs to take a break? Where does this rank in Drake's discography? Or are we all like in conjunction that this is just not the one? Or if it is to you, let me know in the comments why. And don't give me no weirdo like response either. Like, you just don't get it because you're blah blah. Like, no. Let me know in the comments why you like this album, because I want to know. And as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. I'm Tatum. Peace.